Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode. I know you are sitting there wondering to yourself, where has Lord Shaka been? Where has the Lord Shaka videos been? Where are they? I haven't seen any lately. Well, that's because I haven't made any lately. While there has been a ton of new content that has came out over the last couple weeks, there hasn't been a ton of overwhelming changes, I guess you could say, to the game. So as far as a lot of my old content, everything's kind of the same. I do plan on dropping some updates to things like the skill medals video, breaking down a little more detail about that. Hopefully that will help some individuals, whether that's trying to just build your team or going for world boss damage. Just some insights to help you out with that. And because I had some individuals asking about spreadsheets, we do have spreadsheets. They are located on our Discord channel if you want to go to that. The link is in the description below. In the helpful info page, we have a lot of different really good helpful charts in there, one of which is a skill medal breakdown. And that is a full breakdown of damage per second you get per skill medal that you use per update. So it's a really good chart to go off of if you're really concerned about are you maximizing your skill points. But overall, it's just a general guide to show you the big difference between some heroes, how their tactics are better or how their auto attack is better for attackers. But then just overall how much those two are better than, say, a passive ability, and why you don't want to just not upgrade an auto attack because the tactic ability is so great. That will help show why that is so important. Of course, I'll also have some other videos coming up with the Season 4 stuff, all those weekly updates with that. We got we have Williams' exclusive weapon that is dropping next week. So that will be coming out. We'll have a few different videos, especially as Season 4 is wrapping up on the mini account here in a couple weeks. We will see how that season ends and how the pairing matchups work towards the end of the season. So that will be interesting to figure out. But today I wanted to talk about Gary the Sheep. Yes, the return of Mr. Gary the Sheep and an updated battle report that he sent over to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. As we get into this here, I do just want to say thanks again for all the support, everybody. Really appreciate it. Hitting 8,000 subscribers is absolutely just mind-blowing to me. But the fact that I just started making videos just about 6 months ago, less than that actually. For you, those of you that don't remember Gary the Sheep, I did a video about him a while back. If you want to look for that, it is the strongest headquarters 29 that I've ever came across. He only had tier 9 troops, and he had a 46 million first march. That's right, 46 million march with tier 9 troops. That's no mastery tech, that's no tier 10 troops. Special forces was pretty much maxed out. But Mastery Tech is a huge piece of the game, and if you go back and watch my video on that, I explain why, and you can see what happens when he faces me versus when he faces some other players that don't have a maxed out Mastery Tech tree or a very strong Mastery Tech tree. Looking at this battle report, Gary has grown up. I'm like a happy, proud dad at the moment. I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, level almost a 52 million march. It's almost 6 million greater than what he had when him and I had fought about a month or so ago. He finally upgraded his headquarters to 30. So that's just great to see. And overall, I mean, his team is very powerful. It was already pretty powerful before, but now he's got Lucius. It's almost to the level 20. I think he's working on getting Carly to 30 because she's at 27. And then, of course, Skylar is at 24. So I don't know if he's maybe thinking of pushing Skylar to 30 first. I don't know. It's kind of interesting why he's got both of those leveled up. Normally you leave one at 20 and focus on just leveling one up to 30. And then after that one's to 30, you work on your next one. Because each one of these levels after 20, from 20 to 25 is 150 weapon shards. And then from 26 to 30 is 200 weapon shards each individual upgrade. So they're very, very expensive and they take a very long time to do. So that's why you only usually focus on one at a time. Going down the gear here, this is pretty much the same gear he had when we had fought. It's pretty beefy. I mean, you can tell he spends on the game. That's 8 mythic pieces of gear along with almost all 4-star gear except for the guns on both Carly and Lucius. Those are just 1-star. Everything else is pretty much maxed out on this team. If you look at it, skills and everything are all maxed out for the most part, except for Lucius. His auto attack, but that's still being leveled up with his exclusive weapon. And then very interesting, he put D.Va on the front line, which is a funny counter to a Swift team. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, well, he's got a 4 million power advantage. Well, yeah, but it's against a missile team and it's a Swift team. But I think the biggest issue this guy has is he didn't commit to getting Swift to 30. He focused on getting a couple other heroes to 20 without getting Swift to 30. And it makes a big difference getting Swift's weapon to 30 if you're trying to run that frontline tactic. And Swift is missing some mythic pieces. You really want to have all your mythics on Swift and then maybe a mythic radar on your McGregor next to him, because you need that Swift to last as long as you can. Let's jump in, take a look at this fight here and see what happens. I'm just interested to see how fast that Swift goes down versus the rest of his team. Looks like he's getting some disruptions on him, which reduces his damage output and some other abilities. So yeah, I mean, he's just getting cooked. Obviously, McGregor, he's going down a little bit faster, and then Swift's gone. And then once Swift is gone, that really makes this team fall apart. Yes, the back lines can still do a little bit of damage, but without Swift in there, him doing those counterattacks, the wheels just fall off and your damage dies. And that's what I say about this team build all the time with Swift up front. Yes, it's great if you build it right. He can do a ton of damage and nuke some aircraft teams and other teams. But as soon as he's gone, that's it. It's not like if you lost a McGregor in the front, your backline can still cook. He's your main damage dealer. You're leaning on him. The only reason Tesla outdamaged him was because Swift died so fast. And I don't really recommend putting D.Va on the front line either. Granted, Lucius's shields and everything really help buff her, and probably just trying to take the damage off her from the back line. Whenever the attacks go off, usually those hit the back line, so maybe just trying to reduce the damage that she's taking there. But it's almost unnecessary. And then when you see here going up another air squad, that's when D.Va starts taking a bunch of damage here. And this is the downside to it. Once your main damage dealer just starts taking all this damage and gets really, really weak, and then you fight into the next round, instead of your defense heroes taking the damage, surviving a little bit longer, and pushing that endurance, you're basically trying to get your team to endure, to last as long as it can. But when you put your attackers in the front line, they're going to die really fast. You see Lucius in the back row along with Skylar. They're still sitting there with a decent amount of health. But because D.Va is so low in health, and then he runs into this tank team here, I think if D.Va was at the back this whole time, you had Lucius up there, Lucius and Carly were eating all the damage, and you still had your D.Va alive to do more damage, he may have had a chance to win against this. But you're going to see here that D.Va's rolling in here, a little bit of HP left. So she's got a shield right now. The shield's probably going to wear out here in a second. And as soon as that shield's gone, she takes a few hits here. She's got another shield just in time to keep her alive a little bit longer, but now she's gone. And there's your main damage dealer now gone. Now you're relying on your Morrison in the back, which is already almost dead. And then Skylar's just not going to do that much by herself. I really wanted to use this as a visual example to show the difference between whenever you attack with your main team and you have your main attacker up front, and you're trying to get through multiple waves, the difference between surviving and maybe just really, you're getting that counter damage on the missile team. Yes, that's great. But then further down the line, it's going to be more damaging to your team than it is going to be helpful. And just for reference, you can see again, he's not a light spender by any means. He's got a level 150 drone. I don't know if he's just holding on to parts and not leveling that up. But his skill chips, as you can see here, level 7 skill chip on the quantum field, level 6s on everything else, level 9 drone components across the board, a level 5 gorilla. So very, very strong. And then again, only 4% on the aircraft mastery tech. If this aircraft mastery tech was at like 50%, 60%, which where it technically should be for as long as you've been playing, he would just be destroying teams with this team right now. All right, and I just got to train some troops here real quick because I got the buff. I know normally I don't show me playing the game much when I'm actually recording videos, but I'm just going to show you this real quick. So I just kind of like tap, 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 and that one's done. And so I'm going to train this, and then I'm going to go up to upgrade, and then just tap, 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 just to tap right on this corner here, and it pops both of these up, and I'm just able to fly through those, which is pretty convenient, pretty quick. If you're in a hurry, you can speed through training some troops here. So I'm going to get these guys rocking. And oh man, I got 12,000 of these to go. So let's get these hammered out here. Boom, 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 boom. And down to 4,000. And I'm out of resources. So let's pull up some resources real quick. All right. So after I finish this, I'm going to pull up one of my attacks that I did today. So you can see a little bit of the difference of why you want to really get a beefy front line and just make your team last as long as it can to go through multiple waves of players. Let's get this finished up here. Almost done. Boom. Done. And then we're just going to start these guys. And here we are with 54,000. Not quite maxed out, but 289. That is definitely my highest power yet. I think if I had full drill grounds, it'd probably be around probably 293, 294, something like that. So nothing crazy. Not 300 million yet. Getting there. We're getting there. We're at 153.4 million power. All right, so let's go through my attacks today. This was a little history, defense. This I think I had. Let me check. Did I have Hulk in this one? No, it was just me. Yep. Yeah, my main squad. If you look here, so it fought here. Made it through that round, barely took any damage. Made it through this round, barely took anything. And then, of course, cleared that one out after my second team took out most of the damage. The only reason I left all my teams on the wall, I was trying to get protectors for the season. So this was one of my big attacks from today. I used some gems. I sped up about 13 minutes worth of march time with some protectors just to go hit this guy. We were messing around, taking some trade post, and I saw this guy sitting there and people were reinforcing him, so I figured, hey, why not? I'll go hit him. I did not think I was going to get through everybody that was reinforcing him, but I did, and it was a bit of a blowout. I thought there was going to be some bigger guys in there, but nothing really too big. I think the biggest guy, was 44 mil. I don't think anybody else was bigger than that. 46 mil. And this was at the very end. I mean, the very last hit, and I lost, very minimal troops. And this is with protectors, so the numbers are skewed. It's only 32 because the march size is only like 300 and something. So easily cleared this team out. And then when I got my team back, I decided to send it back out. And I didn't think I was going to need protectors again based on that battle report. But then some bigger guys reinforced them. But this was still the results after that. So I sent this in, and you can see 46.4 million. Cleared that. Because my Morrison was across from his Marshall, which had the buff, he focus fired my Morrison. So all the auto attacks from Kim and Stepman focus fired onto Morrison. That's why he took a bunch of damage there. And then going down, I just cleared through most of these guys. Wasn't a big deal. My Gorilla took some damage there. This one, I barely took anything. This team that reinforced him must have been his second team or something. There's not even 26 million. A bit of a weird team. I don't even think he had. It was a 5% team buff. Yeah, so really, really weird team. I don't know what that guy was doing there. This one really hurt. At this point, I had lost a decent amount of my troops for my team. So my power had dropped from 52 down all the way to 48.7. And here you can see my Lucius, he starts fading away. My Carly lost about half her health points on this. And my Skylar went down to about 30%. Morrison was still hanging on by a thread though. And then that's what made this next fight really difficult. I wish I would have threw protectors in here because I would have had a little more power to get through this. But yeah, I barely did anything at this point. But I can tell you, if I would have had, say, my Diva in the front row here, and she started taking all this damage instead of my Lucius, by the time I got like up to here, now of course that one wouldn't have done much of anything. But I probably would have ran into a bit of an issue here because she would have ran out of health, probably got killed, and then my back row would have been, cooked at that point. But I was still able to get through this wave, though I wasn't able to do much to the next wave. At least I did get through this wave and took out that entire team. And that is why I always preach consistency is key. You want to build a team around consistency. It might not be flashy. You might not get like the big upset win, but getting hits like this to where you're clearing through multiple teams, this is more satisfying than killing one player or taking one team out. Being able to get through 4, 5, 6, 7 teams, even all the way up to 10 teams, if you hit, say, a cannon during Warzone duels, it's so fun seeing that big tick fly up there that says 10 times, and your team just walks through them and it bounces right back out, and you can turn around and hit them again. That's so much more fun. But hey, that's just my opinion. You can do with your teams as you please. I'm just saying, for battles like this, these team setups are a lot more efficient and consistent. And then just another real quick demonstration here. So this one got through 6 teams, died just before getting to the 6th team. I mean, I was pretty much cooked at this point. My Lucius and my Diva were pretty much done. But I can tell you, if I had my Diva on the front line at this point, I mean, I probably would have lost this. She would probably have been dead before Carly was, and then then you're just done. So it's nice to say, okay, I got one more win out of this. I got through 5 teams. Though it wasn't the entire team. I didn't burn this guy, but to get through 5 teams is pretty fun. And this guy had taken a little bit of damage, so he wasn't fully loaded. But still, I mean, I barely took any damage from this guy. My Gorilla ate a lot of it. My Morrison in the back row, my Skylar a little bit, but overall, I mean, I barely took any damage here. And that's what's allowing my Diva to stay alive and just continue to cook through these teams. Well, that is pretty much it for this episode, everyone. A little bit of a different one here. I just wanted to walk through a little bit of that with you guys, explain some things that were going on, and just kind of hang out, share a little bit of my gameplay with you and how I go through stuff for those that don't come out to the streams. If you can make it, come out to the streams. Usually I'm streaming about 2 hours before reset and around reset time, just going through stuff, talking about people's accounts, seeing what we can do, help each other out. It's a good time. Thanks again for checking out the video, everybody, and I hope to catch you guys in the next one. And just pretend that you didn't see that.